Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here on KWTN 100.9 on your FM dial. We are the Big Voice Radio, the official radio for the Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska. And this is today, episode 26 of the Big Voice Sports Talk Show. And today we are joined by a couple special guests, a couple of gentlemen that I've seen live in action this past week, and we're going to do a highlight on their team. We have the 14 and under Winnebago baseball coaches. We have Coach Sean Walker, we have Coach Hunter Walker, and we have Kenyon. And one of the other coaches, Richie. We give a shout out to Richard Carnes down there. He had to stay back and cover the front desk. Rich, another shout out to you. All the stuff we're going to talk about, you're included. So, gentlemen, can you say hi to the guests?
What's going on, guys? Sean Walker here, head coach of the Pony baseball team. Pony just means 14 and under. To my left, I have my Hannah, so I'll let him kind of talk to him.
Hi, this is Hunter Walker. I'm helping Sean coach the 14U. I'm just there to be there, really. Be there for the boys.
Yep. And then we have Kenyon Snyder. Kenyon Snyder here.
Hello, folks. I'm assistant coach to Sean Walker. I also coach 12U boys, head coach there. And it's my first time here, so let's have some fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. And so I try to get, some people lined up for every week, and I try to make it interesting every week and try to change it up. I know last week we talked a lot about baseball with Coach Huge, and he was talking. We highlighted the 8 and under team that won their tournament that past weekend, and really got a lot of information about youth baseball here in Winnebago. Got a good look at what Eugene and the program's vision is, and so sure hate to be doing baseball every episode, but it is baseball season, and there's a lot of baseball going on, and especially here in Winnebago, it seems like almost every day you're cruising by and there's games going on out to the field, and I think that's exactly what was envisioned when they built those softball fields, to keep our community busy and keep our kids busy. So, I'm really enjoying it myself. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a couple nights back, the 14 and under Pony boys baseball team, they traveled down to Tekamah, Nebraska, and it really did seem like Tekamah has they had a lot of fans, and the way that the baseball field was in concessions and everything like that they have a pretty good culture of baseball down there in that community. So and I got to go down there and watch the boys play, and it was a really good game. I know that Winnebago had a really bad kind of first inning, and I kind of noticed that's what happens. First innings are always that bad one, and I think if we get rid of that bad inning, that bad first inning, we could really look good, But it was a hard-fought battle all the way to the end, and Winnebago come out on top. So, nice. I asked the coaches that night. I said, what, you guys' team played so well that if you guys want to come and do an interview, let's do this, because I want to highlight this baseball team, because a lot of these players on this Ponies team, they're not even old enough to play Ponies. They're Broncos. And I even little grandson Arian Marufo, and I think he's a first year Bronco, and he's playing, and he's hitting the ball, So I just wanted to make sure and get these guys on, and coaches. One thing that I wanted to ask you guys to kind of visit with the listeners about is not just that game. You could talk about that game, but how Winnebago and the boys came back and won that game. But just in general about the boys, maybe talk a little bit about them and what you guys' experiences here early in the baseball season.
Okay, so I'll start it off, man. So this 7th and 8th grade boys that we have, they're really used to a lot of success both on the basketball court and on the football side of things, and you know just as well, because that's kind of your group of boys, Warpath boys.
Yeah, they are.
But I think one of the struggles has been so far has been just learning to deal with failure, because baseball's a big game of failure, and it's just been tough. But credit to them, they haven't given up, and haven't really put their heads down. They just been getting back to work, and just putting in the work to be better. And those losses that we have taken, because right now we're at the very bottom of the league with a couple other teams. We're 1-6, but we're definitely not. We don't play like a 1-6 team,
No.
Definitely for sure not. And just like you were saying, it's just like the rough starts. Both he and I are, both Hunter and I are used to kind of buttoned up programs. We both played baseball at Sioux City North High and Sioux City, and we had a coach that was real strict on us. Real old school. Pinstripe pants, wear your hat every day, wear your hat the right way. Your music has no cussing, so we're used to that, and we try to bring a little bit of that to that side of things.
That's good.
And I really being able to coach with my brother, man, it's been awesome because he kind of understands what I expect, and he's able to push those expectations on top of the boys when I'm not able to. Like sometimes when I'm working on the beginning of at the beginning of the game when I'm working on the lineups and talking with other head coaches, he's there leading the warm up. He's there with the boys every day, making sure that our warm up's on track and we look good. Yeah. And hats off to him. He does a really good job with it.
Yep.
And I can't say enough. But yeah, just like you said, that first inning, we I think we've had about 4 or 5 different games where we have had just a really rough inning where we've gave up maybe like 5 or 6 runs, and it's been hard to overcome that with just learning the game, because a lot of these other towns like Pender, Wayne, West Point, they have the indoor facilities where they can go in and hit, the batting cages, things like that where Winnebago just doesn't have yet. And we want to get there. We want to be with those baseball towns and be able to battle with them at the beginning of the season. And Mr. Ron Williams down at Trico, he's a great guy, but man, he always gives us a real tough schedule.
Yeah.
We played both Wayne teams twice. Wayne is a notorious baseball town. We played Pender and West Point first 4 games, and that's a tough schedule right off the back. And when teams, all these teams around here, when they see Winnebago, we pretty much have a target on our back. So everybody gives us their best game. Wakefield was 1-4, and they played some of the best ball I've seen a team of that caliber. Nothing against them, they just didn't have the athletes that we did. But they played some ball. But
they came with it when they heard the Indians were coming to town. Yeah,
definitely brought it when they seen Winnebago was on the schedule.
One thing, every once in a while I'll kind of like interrupt and stuff to try to throw a little bit of insight or maybe something that kind of went through my head. But you was sitting there, talking about your little brother, coaching with you and how it makes you feel and stuff like that. This past basketball season, I had a really good squad, man. I mean, the whole junior high boys was dominant all year long. And the one thing that they lacked was down low post up moves. And I've always been a guard. I've been a shooting guard. I've been a point guard, but I've never had to play down low with the big dudes. But my older brother Buff right here, he's always played in the post. That's where, growing up, that's where he learned to play, is from the post. And he made his way out to the 3. But he dominated that area down there, only being 5'11", under 6 foot, and he dominated that down there. So I asked him one day, I said, bro, I need some help. I need some help. I said, I could teach these big man moves, but I could do them, but I don't really know. I never really had to do them before. So like the aspect of him, talking to him about why you do it, or the little hints and little tips that you give, ball players and stuff. I didn't have that for a low post player. So he come into 2 practices, and just those 2 practices alone helped me out so much with the people, the kids that I think are my post players, and just that much, hearing from I guess the community of a legend from back in the day, and then listening to the tips they had, and then me saying, hey boys, be open-minded, and listen to what he has to say. And then not only that, is like practice those after practice and during lunch, practice those moves, because they'll help you out. But just those couple practices made me feel that same way that you guys are feeling right there, because you guys know just about the same amount, if not more than each other, on certain aspects of the game. So I think that's good.
Yep. Definitely. There's sometimes I ask him, like, what should I do here? Should I go to a different pitcher, or what do you think? And then he'll kind of give me his insight, and it's usually spot on. He puts whatever insight I ask for him, he always puts us in a good spot to win the ball game or improve our chances to win. That's what I really like about having him. Man, he and I, man, we we probably hate losing just as much as we like winning. You know, we're just those kind of guys.
Yeah. You know
Preaching
what?
to the choir
Yeah,
there,
preaching to
little
the choir, and I know that even Kenyon, he's got a whole family full of baseball and softball players too. So he's probably in the same boat as you guys. You know, nobody really likes to lose games, and you know when you're coaching these guys, and it's kind of like, you know, you want to teach them the fundamentals, you want to teach them to play hard, not give up and stuff like that. And hey, the end of the game score, it doesn't matter as long as you give it your best, you know. But in the back of us competitive guys' minds, we're like, man, I wish we'd have won that game. you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Right.
But if it's not for like big money like in the pros, or if it's not for like a big giant trophy or something like that, like it is in college and high school, if it's just at the learning process, hey, we could take those L's as long as you can see that those kids out there are improving, and maybe a game you got 9 errors. Well, maybe you want to get it down to about 6 or even 5 the next game or something, you know, just like little improvements on the way. Because if they keep on making those little improvements, you know, by the end of the season, they'll be ready for postseason, you know.
Right. Okay, so just last Thursday, just kind of following off of that, Logan View came to town, and we just didn't start out very well, did we? I think we counted about 30 some drops in our warm up, just playing catch, you know. And that just it didn't start us out good at all. So there was no energy, no nothing. That's just not a lot going for us at that time. And after that game, we ended up losing. Like, I think we got run ruled at home. And you know me, I'm okay with loss as long as we play hard. And after that game, I met in left field, and I'm gonna be real honest. I got into him a little bit because when you play in Winnebago and we got fans there, you gotta play hard. You gotta play hard for those fans. You gotta play for your grandma, mom, whoever takes care of you, whoever gets you to those practices, because you owe it to them.
Exactly.
And I told them boys straight up, like, hey, me and Hunter, we don't have any sons on this team, you know, because a lot of parents doing this youth sports stuffs, they have kids or whatever that play on these teams, and we don't have that. Like, we're here because we want to see you guys succeed, and we love baseball. Like, we wouldn't be here if we didn't like you guys and if we didn't like baseball. And it just so happens to be that we like both, and we're here for you guys. So you guys got to be here for us. You guys got to put in the effort that we're trying to put in here. Because I'm there every day with the boys, the youth down at Whirling Thunder, and I give it my all every day. I try to anyways. And, something really resonated with them, and, man, we came out firing to Takema. Came out absolutely firing.
Yeah.
I think we put up 4 or 5 runs in that first inning against Takema, and I met with them. I was like, hey, boys, when was the last time we ever did that? Put up 4 or 5 runs in the first inning and got a good jump like that. And, man, we just kept up the good energy all that time, and it just kept rolling. And the score showed it, 22 to 10 win in our favor.
Yeah, it was an awesome game. I remember I was all smiles and stuff like that, you know. And just to let the listeners know that at the end of this episode here, we are going to be giving out a few of the athlete of the weeks. And just to kind of give you a little heads up, I know that there's a couple of boys off of that 14U team that been nominated, so I'm gonna be talking about that at the end of the episode here. So just stay tuned about that there. So yeah, so the other night I was there, like I said, and got to see the boys, and they got the 4 runs, and then second inning they gave up 6, and then they got a couple more after that, and the game was tied up 8-8. And then you guys had that one inning. Man, that one inning, you guys went off.
Like an explosion.
And those are the kind of innings where as a fan, you love to see that. As a parent, like, you really love to see that. But those kids there, just seeing how their faces were as everybody was getting their hits and stuff like that off that left-hander, man, you could just see it that they weren't going to lose that game. You could see that. So now one of the things that I kind of wonder about is how do we get them to feel like that all the time, And then we all talk about practice, and you're supposed to be practicing harder than you play and stuff like that. Don't go to practice and slack, because that's how you're going to play in a game. I'm gonna tell you boys right now, all 3 of you guys, Richie, Huge, the other coaches out there that are spending their time with these boys in baseball. It's been years of discussion, and it always came down to, we don't have anybody that loves the game enough to take their time to teach this game. we have a lot of people that love basketball, and they'll do that. We have enough people to love football to get people involved with that, but it was baseball. And that was one of the sports that we always talked about, man. We've had baseball digits ponies, our digits Broncos ponies on up, back in the day, and then it died off. So I'm not trying to sound corny or anything like that, but you boys are a godsend to this community, and I don't want you guys to take anything less than that, because you're exactly what we needed.
Yeah.
You just now said you don't have any sons on this team, so it's not that love for your child and what you want to see them succeed in their buddies. It's not that. It's the love for the game and the passion that you have for the game.
That says a lot right there.
It does.
I'm glad you guys are here too. Just the way you guys sound right now, listening to you guys talk, it's I'm happy you guys are here. Then to have you coaching the junior high girls basketball. I got a grandbaby coming up this year too, so I reffed a lot of the games this year. I reffed all the home games for you guys, and I can see how you want discipline from your team or your players and stuff like that. Getting on them when they need to get, because at that age and that's part of their lives. That's when they're in their I know everything stuff. And then they attitude at home, and then you can get them with girls with attitudes. It's just like, I had 3 of them. All had attitudes at that age. They knew everything.
Spank 'em.
So I know. I see you get after them when they need. If they're not doing what you want, do what you want out of them. Then you're gonna get after them, stuff like that. Sub them out, and boy, they don't like coming out. Well, I was watching all that, so you just tell that as a sons of an athletic dad. Your
And mom.
dad last. Oh yeah, both. Yeah, your mom too. Both of them. Yeah, they're both. Good athletes when they were young. I think your dad still plays. He's supposed to be going to Vegas with me in a couple weeks for 100 and over national, 50 and over basketball nationals out in Las Vegas. And
Las Vegas. So if your dad's trying to hit you up before he heads out,
I tell these guys back in the day. I said, me and Les be playing. I said, we walk next to each other. I said, you guys looking at about 3 million points, combined points, career points right here. You guys looking at us.
3 million points and 4 million fouls.
3 assists.
And 3 assists.
Combined.
Yeah, just we get that, man. Shoot, you guys both know my dad, man, and he's one of those guys that still gets fired up to play softball, gets fired up to go to old men basketball nights, still gets fired up to go to league. And he's just one of those guys. He always instilled that passion in us. Show up early, listen to your coach, play ball. Just play ball as hard as you can every time. Just like, I don't know. I always felt growing up that me and him always just had a kind of like a chip on our shoulder. Like we always felt kind of disrespected for whatever reason. But he always instilled that kind of passion into us. Because I just grew up at the ball fields and down at leagues back in Worthington, or when I had the cage and the old stuff, watching him battle it out and kind of instill his presence down there at league and in other different ways. That's just what I grew up on. I think that's where my passion for the game comes from, for sure.
Quick question: can you guys hold your dad in the post when he's in his prime?
Oh man, I don't know.
Oh,
Man, that
that's a
spin
tough
move
one.
and that fadeaway, it's still pretty tough.
Yeah, he was a good ball player. I give him props all the time. As an old player who playing against each other, you never want to say that to him, though. You get him fired up and get him going. There's a couple of times I try to foul him hard, get him out of the game because he's killing us. So I had to give him a couple hard fouls, let him know. Better stay outside, Les. It's not safe down here. That's my boy.
Yeah. But now that we're older and stuff like that, you giving people props all the time, man. Because game recognized game,
Yeah.
There it is. All right, so I'm gonna continue on then with this conversation about baseball here. So one of the things that I want to talk about is, and then we don't have to spend too much time on it, is these batting cages. Even like down in Wakefield, they had a field that wasn't as beautiful as ours, but they even had their own batting cage down there. And I know we talked about it before. I don't know if it's in the works or whatever like that, but when do you think that we could be seeing a batting cage?
So this is something Eugene and I have been discussing a lot, because you see a lot of these towns that are great at baseball, have good teams. They have a batting cage right by their field. Wayne, West Point, Pender, Wakefield, all these traditional baseball towns. And it really does make a big difference when your field's rained out and you can't be on the field, you can't be on a wet outfield. That you can go in and just spend an hour and a half in the cage. So I think it's really important that we get that. And I've been stressing that to Eugene, and he's really been opening his eyes to it. We've had a lot of renovations to our field. We've added backstops with our Ho Chung Wei money, but the next thing on the agenda is that batting cage. So he's been talking to Travin Bear, Trunky, about installing some, putting some concrete down, and talking to our different vendors who can get us that kind of net. So the estimated timetable right now is late this summer to early spring next year. So nothing for this year. I wish we could, but it's definitely in the works. So we definitely need it.
When you get one of those, it almost goes hand in hand. You got to get a pitching machine, obviously, too.
Right.
So, I mean, because I remember back in the day, me and Quince played down at Walt Hill for a little bit, and I remember they used to set that. Our coach back then, I don't know, I can't remember his name, but he used to set that thing on back when we were in Broncos and stuff. He set it about 80 miles per hour and said, "If you guys can hit that, you guys can hit any one of these boys that are pitching." So we ended up trying to swing away, and I don't even think nobody really hardly caught any, but it was like, shit, you expect us to stand in this ball gonna hurt?
I think of those coaches. Well, Eddie was one of them. Eddie Stansbury is one, and then I think the other one's name was Jay Jackson, maybe.
Oh, redhead guy.
Yeah.
That's who it was, Jay Jackson. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, but like Buff was talking about that pitching machine. I believe you guys do got a pitching machine out there. They might be missing some legs or something like that. But even having, doing the renovations of one batting cage, get two of them, and give us twice the room to work with all the kids that we got, because those batting cages can be set for the slower pitches for the girls, so we can be just rapidly, just getting practicing throughout the springtime and summer,
Right.
So I'm all for that. I can't wait to see it. The Land of Wellness is already a beautiful place. Adding those batting cages on will just make it even more beautiful.
Right.
And something really impressive for when the out of towners come to watch their games, to come see how beautiful that this field is, and then you'll be able to see the progress from year to year of how our kids are getting better, and maybe it might not show with the older boys right now, but these little guys that are in the Pee Wee League, the Coach Pitch League, as they get older, maybe we get some college ball players out of those guys somewhere, So and ultimately that's what we always talk about here on the Big Boy Sports Talk Show is it's really not, we're not designed to talk about scores and highlights too much, like how ESPN and all other sports shows are. We're just here to kind of feed the people information, do a lot of recruiting, and then just giving a lot of people the proper shout outs that they need, because there's a lot of people in our community that do a lot of work that goes unannounced, and a lot of the coaching gigs that we do, they're very thankless jobs, and from time to time you'll get a parent to come in and say, hey, thank you for working with my kid, he kind of behaves at home because you make him behave at practice or something like that, you'll get those things, and that right there is the most rewarding part, is when you hear those stories. So but yeah, shout out to all those coaches out there, man. Really appreciate all you guys for putting in the work. All right, good.
Yeah, just like you said, this is like this junior high age. It's a really a formative time in their lives, and it's really tough to say, but man, a lot of these young men have really rough times at home. So we try to be good to them as best we can, and just show them how to be a young man on the baseball field and out in the community. Because our Chokalui and our dad, they would get after us if we were acting a fool and out and about, and we're trying to instill those teachings and things like that onto these young boys that maybe don't have that kind of male role model at home, or things like that. It's just always way bigger in baseball, always way bigger than the sport.
It is.
Also, all sounds so familiar. That's same way with our pops. He got on us when we were playing the fool too, which was like 90% of the time. So it was good stuff, man. I'm glad you guys are here doing what you're doing for the kids.
Because so just kind of look back at this. You're looking from the outside in. You see during the basketball season, I know the girls, all the girls programs and stuff like that are doing the same thing. But I know with the boys program, especially Warpath, that it is more than basketball. We talk basketball a lot. We do a lot of drills and everything like that. But we do talk a lot about these players at this age of middle school. The preteens and the teenagers. They're going through a lot of changes, not just in their bodies, but in their heads and their lives and stuff like that. And we've all been through it before, man. We've been through those struggles. You know, and then I think that's, you know, that's one huge thing that we all can like say that's important, is that those teachings for these young men about being respectful, and all the teachings you get with that sport. You're teaching discipline, you're teaching, you know, sportsmanship, teamwork, respect, especially respect. You know, on our Warpath jerseys, we got respect written on the back of our jerseys, because that's what we talk about a lot, and the respect can go a long way and go towards the officials, towards your opponents, your teammates, your coaches, other coaches, fans, you know, all the way around. You know, if you have an active teaching like that within your program, then it's gonna be successful. And if the boys are getting that in basketball, getting that in baseball, and then getting to the football program, and they're teaching all the same things, I mean, all those kids are gonna, you know, statistically gonna do a lot better as if they didn't, you know. Especially because the sports around here in Winnebago, I'm gonna tell you boys this, and you guys might be able to attest to this too, that I say over the 25 years I've been coaching basketball, middle school, high school, and younger age, I would say about 80%, maybe 75% of the kids that are out for sports, they come from single family homes.
That's right.
Not too many of those kids have both their parents at home. They might have both their parents in their lives, but they live at a house where it's probably mostly their mom there. You know, and then I'm not saying anything about that. I mean, I'm actually giving the props to the moms for doing that, you know. But then that's where we come in as coaches, you know, to fill that role of what you just now said about male role models. We fill that role. So it's our duty and our job to try to teach those kids everything about the sport, but also teach them the stuff that the dad should be teaching them about that respect, about treating people good and stuff like that, you know. So, you know, that's how I feel about the coaches around here. That's why I keep on thanking everybody for the jobs they're doing, you know, because it's a hard job, but it's something that needs to be done around here.
Yep.
All right. So I know on the agenda we had that we're going to talk a little bit about this College World Series. You know, myself, I don't really follow baseball too much until it gets to the World Series, like even in the pros. But we took the liberty of printing you out, guys, a bracket of the College World Series, and you can go ahead and look at that. I believe it's up on your the viewers. It's up on your screen there. And on this one, the one that we printed out, it has the whole bracket. It looks like they're in the what is that? The quarterfinals or regionals?
Yeah, regionals right now. Yep.
Regionals, and so they got a couple more rounds to go until they get to the big games, you know. But then in the middle, it shows like who's all the top ranked teams with Wake Forest and Florida, Arkansas, Clemson, LSU, Vanderbilt, Virginia, Stanford, Miami, and then Coastal Carolina is your top 10 seeds in this tournament.
I got a quick question for the baseball boys here. So when they go to these games like that, so they gotta win they gotta play each other 2 out of 3 times.
Yeah, it's just
before
2
they
out of 3
advance?
series. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Winner goes to Omaha.
So when do they go to Omaha?
So Omaha's gonna be here in 2 weeks.
It's next week.
Yeah. Next
Oh yeah, it is next week.
So it
Yeah.
takes top 8 teams.
Top
to
8
Omaha?
teams.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Top 8.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good. So, all right. So now that we're looking at it, you know, you boys that follow baseball, you know, I don't know if any of these teams are your squads, but one of the questions that we had on our agenda was, you know, who's your guys' favorite team here, and are they in it?
Oh, for sure, man. I'm a big Stanford guy. I remember going, because we used to live in Omaha with our dad for a little while, and we'd always go down to the College World Series back when it was at Rosenblatt.
Oh yeah.
And by the zoo. And back in the day, man, you could go down there. That whole street would be blocked off with just all the baseball stuff, all the vendors, all the food stands, and it was just an event, man. Just reminded me of Powell. But I remember I just remember falling in love with because we went to batting practice. I remember just falling in love with like the Stanford uniforms and the tree and their uniforms look so clean. So I'm a big Stanford guy myself. I got a shirt, I got a hat. I'm ready to go this year.
That's good. Stanford looks like they're at number 8, the 8th seed. And,
yeah, they're that 1 seed down there. 1 seed down there in this is probably the West regional, I think.
Okay.
But you always got to watch out for those powerhouses like LSU, though, man. There were those programs that just, they don't really have rebuilding years. They just reload,
Yeah.
just top 1 recruits every year. And then I think you always got to watch out for like the Coastal Carolinas because they're sneaky good in their own league. And there are always those teams that always make it to Omaha, and they just sneak into Omaha, and they're the team that
rain on some parades.
yeah. And then they're always a fan favorite. You always see the little kids with the Coastal Carolina hats, so
Nice.
that's always really cool to see.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, like the last few years, I would say like last 5-6 years or something like that. At this time when the College World Series would be talked about, I always look for Wichita State, but I don't even see them anywhere. But so I'm not going with them. No, but then another team that always comes up too is Vanderbilt. I see a lot of highlights on ESPN when I'm watching Sports Center in the morning, and Vanderbilt, they seem like they always got good defensive highlights, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I can't name any player out there or anything like that, what their team's about. But I'm gonna have to probably just, if I'm gonna pick anybody, I'll have to throw them out there since I saw some cool highlights.
You be going for the 1 seed. Keep it real.
Wake Forest is my dark horse pick.
Born and raised out in where are they from?
What about you, Hunter?
I think for me, I'm gonna have to go with South Carolina. I don't really have a team in this bracket, so I just have to go with the underdog, really. And
That's a good one.
I think I have there's a picture of me, Sean, and my dad back in like 2011 when they first moved to TD Ameritrade.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a South Carolina hat.
That's right.
Oh,
yeah,
there you
I was a
go.
freshman that
Flexing.
year.
Oh, flexing too.
Yep. So that's my pick.
Flexing, making everybody hungry
That's
for
when
chicken
they had,
wings.
Jeffrey Bradley Jr., right?
Uh-huh.
That guy was cold. He was a
All right.
good outfielder.
All right, Coach Kenyon.
I'd probably go for a lower school like Indiana State, Larry Bird's alumni.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'm probably rocking the Indiana State, maybe LSU, just because they're always good.
There you go. The Hick from French Lick. Remember that one last week, Buff?
I just rolled the Indiana State just because of Carolina Blue.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right, so now, you boys already said you've been to College World Series with your dad, right?
Yep.
Do you guys go often?
I try to go every year.
Every year?
If not with my dad, me and my
Yeah,
buddies from
every
high
year.
school, we always plan a trip. So
Yeah.
Friday the 16th, you'll probably, if you're at the College World Series or watching those games, just keep an eye out for me, man. I'll be there.
He's gonna be streaking.
Those the volley or the beach balls they always do.
Oh, yeah.
Try to get in there on that.
Yeah, Coach Kenyon said he also makes it down there almost every year just to, since it's right there, I mean, like that's a national, that's like the NBA Finals, the national football every year here in Omaha. If you're a baseball fan. So now let's see here. So what are the odds or what are the chances of at one of these College World Series games of Worthington or the Boys and Girls Club getting some kind of a discount to get the kids down here?
Oh man, that's something we gotta ask Kuno about. We could probably get something in the works for that. That'd be really cool.
Okay, so Greg Bass III and the Boys and Girls Club. Let's see if we can find some connections, and also if we have any programs out there that are needing some middle school, early teens or pre-teens kind of prevention money spent. This would be a good time to kind of throw some money out there and maybe even do a class with these youngsters.
Right.
I know that's a good way to get some things done around here is have the boys sit through some prevention and then earn themselves incentive like tickets to the College World Series.
Right.
That'd be cool.
And just one thing I'll say, the College World Series down there, man, it's a great environment. It's a whole different, it's a whole different vibe. It's electric, man.
Yeah, I've never been there. I want to go.
Go check it out, man. Personally, I'm a gear guy. I'm like a real big into gloves, batting gloves, the bats, things like that. And man, all the vendors, DeMarini, Easton, all those guys are down there with Rawlings, with their best gloves, their best stuff out there. And little kid, not a bunch of money when we go down there, man. I grew up, man, I'd just be looking at all the gloves. Man, if I had some money, I would get this one. And they used to have this sweet Nike store, sweet Nike baseball store. And man, I was like a kid in a candy shop in that store, just looking at all the cleats, the batting gloves, the T-shirts. I was like, oh man, if I had the money.
Yeah. Well, now you're a grown man. It's
Yeah.
a different story going down there now.
I know the credit card's gonna be going crazy.
No, that's good. That's good though. Yeah, I've never been and I do want to go though. So, hopefully this year will be a good chance. So if we can get those tickets for those kids, got a couple chaperones right here available to keep eye on your kids and keep them in line. A couple degas up here. So
Couple chokers.
yeah, a couple chokers up here, keep everybody in line. So okay. So we got our. I think, did we get our picks? We got our picks, right?
Yep.
All right, so we'll come back after this World Series is over and see if any of us said the team that is going to win this whole thing. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and scoot on down to Major League Baseball. And, DJ Bessamy's going to pull up this the standings for Major League Baseball. And the one right there, I believe that's just everybody all together overall. It starts from the number one team all the way down to the last team. And so I don't know how much you guys watch baseball on TV. I've watched maybe about 6 or 7 Tampa games this year. One live. I told everybody about it a couple weeks ago when I came back from vacation. We got to see the Rays play the Milwaukee Brewers. Even though the Rays are leading the league right now, they got smoked against the Brewers when we were down there. So I didn't get to see
Black
anything.
Cat. Quincy's
Black
Black
Cat.
Cat.
I know, everywhere, man. Acting like, what's his name? Drake.
Drake.
He goes
Yeah.
all over the place and makes everybody lose. Well, one thing I could say is, though, is back a few years back, I took the family down to Kansas City to Worlds of Fun for vacation, and we stopped over and watched the Royals play, and they played the Louisville Cardinals. And once again, I mean, they won, but the score was 1-0.
Oh, wow.
You know, so there was no home runs. It was just, I think the guy got walked and he stole a couple bases, and then he got RBI'd in or something like that. So it was a boring game, but they won the World Series that year. So actually,
wow,
even
yeah.
though I was the Black Cat then, for the season ender, I was probably the good luck charm. So
And if there's anything bad I had to say about baseball is when, I mean, like I said, I'm not really a big baseball fan when it comes to Major League, but that'd be the worst possible game. Just to go and watch 1-0 and then no hits, people, just that'd be the worst. I'd probably left at the third inning.
dude, crazy too, because back probably 15 years ago or something like that, and was out in New York City. I mean, Kunabas went to
This guy's rich, boy.
he went to a Yankees game out there, and it was the last season that they was in old Yankee Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to see that. Scores 1-0. Well, at least it was a home run though. A-Rod blasted a home run, and but then Jabba didn't get a pitch. We went to go hopefully see Jabba, but he was just in the bullpen. And but anyway, yeah, that's
Damn.
those rich guys.
Like
Taking
that,
kids out there.
robbed the liquor store or something.
Taking kids out there and funded fully. Nah, but so you boys, who you guys got in your major league?
My personal team, I shoot, any given night that we're not at the softball fields during the summer, you can catch my dad watching a St. Louis Cardinals game. So I gotta go Cardinals all the way, man. But this year they're a little down. Yadier Molina, the old catcher, and Albert Pujols, the big first baseman hitter. They were both retired last year, so a little down this year. Bottom of the division and bottom of the league, but I'll still wear my Cardinals hat.
There you go.
Yep. I'm a Kansas City guy myself. You
Oh,
can
he's
see me
got-
wearing it today.
He's got KC on right now. There you go.
Don't really know too much about how they're doing, but
All right, hey, go ahead, go to the bottom, Beth. Show you something. All the way to the bottom. They're down there.
They're worse
I
than the
know.
Cardinals.
I saw the Cardinals are right next to them.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, Coach Kenyon.
All right, I might get some hate for this, but I'm a evil empire guy. The Yankees, 27
Yanks.
of them.
Thanks. There you
Judge is
go.
on his way to another MVP, so we'll see
Yeah.
how it goes.
That's
All
a
right.
that's a big human, man.
Yeah, that's a
And
big
they're-
dude,
what is
man.
he, like 6'8",
6'7",
6'7",
6'7", probably like-
260 or something,
Yeah, he's
230.
gotta be. Yeah,
Huge. If I had to pick one, probably the Yanks. I mean, like I said, I don't watch too much, but I'll pull for the Yanks. But I also have to go for since they're close to us, the Twinks.
Oh, the Twinks, yeah.
Those are the only ones.
Yeah. Our bro Jay Bass, he has all kind of Minnesota Twins gear.
Yeah.
Oh man, if you talk to Jay Bass, he right now he's the biggest Yankee fan you ever met.
Oh, really?
Right now, yeah.
Oh, he's selling out
one
on
of
his-
does.
Yeah.
He does that.
Is he a bandwagon?
Yeah.
Bandwagon.
He's like
Bandwagon, man.
last year after he won his MVP, he's like, shoot, I already knew about that guy 10 years ago, Aaron Judge. I knew he'd be good. I knew he'd be good, Chief.
Chief, yeah.
There you go.
Talking like this.
Bass.
When he's talking like this, you know what that means.
Yeah. And myself, like I said, I usually like the Twins because, like Buff said, they're the closest ones to where we're at right here. But Kansas City's also a team that's a little over 4 hours away. And I used to like the Yankees too. When Jabba was out there, and then after he got traded off, and then I kind of stopped liking the Yanks because I was kind of going for a Ho-Chunk boy.
Yeah.
Which he still needs to come back and do a camp over here.
About 30 years
We've
ago.
been waiting for 30 years for that camp, Jabba. And you promise these kids you come back and bring it back to your home, but they're still waiting. Now those kids are 30.
Yeah, those kids are playing at Floyd's right now.
Those kids are all at Floyd. They could have been in the big leagues, but you didn't come to a camp.
Still got their New
Now-
York
now they're all at-
62 jersey.
Now they're all at beer league out to Floyd all because of you, Jabba.
I'll blame beer league.
Oh my goodness! All right, so I say we'll come back again after baseball season, come see how our teams are doing and whatnot, and maybe have some good conversations about that.
Maybe have a favorite different team
Yeah,
depending on the record.
by the end of the season, we'll all have a favorite different team. All right, yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, there's one more time. Just gonna let you know we got the coaches for the 14 under. The Ponies Winnebago boys baseball team here.
I got one question. If you can try to cut the boys loose, or if we're getting are they all picking one of them too as well? One of the athletes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Here,
okay.
send these down because we could actually. Are you guys getting ready to go out to your game? Because you guys got a game pretty soon, right?
Yeah, I gotta take off.
Kenyon
Oh, Kenny's got to take off, but then
Maybe we can get Kenyans before
all right,
he has
all
to dip.
right. He wasn't here when we talked about it, but
Oh, okay.
okay. So out of all the athletes throughout the week, and any of the coaches, athletes, anybody that you can nominate for an athlete of the week, if you can come up with one, we'll go ahead and let you give out an award this week.
Okay.
So think about all the stuff went on this week, and then let's come up with one.
Right now? We doing this
Yeah, right now for you.
I'd probably nominate OC Earth. He's a really good athlete. I asked him to play catcher the other day. He usually doesn't catch. He does whatever I ask of him. He goes to left. He can go catch, go pitch. He's a good athlete, and as well he can bat too.
Yeah.
He's our leadoff hitter, and he's got some speed when he gets on the bag. He's usually running. So
And that's 12U?
yeah, he plays 12U as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have a lot of kids that play both.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we got a lot of Broncos that have to play up because we
okay.
don't have the numbers, So
Okay.
that's good. And
That's a good pick there.
and OC helped out the other night down in Tacoma and got a number of hits down there.
Yeah.
And he did a really good job with the older boys. So
Good
that was
job.
good. Yeah, good selection there.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
One thing about OC I'll say is, man, he's probably one of the smartest players in the
Yeah, he
baseball
does got
program
it.
right now, man.
He's pretty smart.
IQ.
High IQ kid. Definitely know, man, if there's a situation with runners on, he knows right where to go to field. And he's one of those kids that, he doesn't need a lot of practice because he sees the game so just way ahead of everybody.
Nice.
The other night, Logan View's kid was throwing a curveball. And a lot of our kids, they just throw fastballs. But man, he was like, Coach or Sean, what was that pitch right there? And why did it just drop? I was like, that's a curveball, dude. And I was like, to hit that curveball, dude, it's gonna come in slow. You gotta wait. Okay, and he got down 1-2 that next at bat. The kid threw a 1-2 curveball. He sat on it, and man, he ripped it and blew up that third baseman. So
Nice.
definitely well deserving, Kenyon. Good pick.
Good
Yep.
pick.
All right, so yeah, OC Earth. If you're listening to this, you got to go try to find Coach Kenyon. He'll probably see you at practice. So, what we're gonna do, Coach Kenyon, is get a picture. Give OC the medal,
Yeah.
and get a picture with it, and then send it to Bethany over here, and she'll make sure and put it on.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and cut Kenny loose because they got a 12 and under and a 10 and under game going on this evening, so he needs to get out to the field.
All right.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Kenyon.
Thanks
Yep.
for coming, Coach.
Yep.
Good luck.
So you are listening to the Big Voice Sports Talk Show. I am your host, Coach Q, along here with my big brother Buff, and we have Coach Sean and Hunter Walker here with us from the 1400 Ponies Winnebago boys baseball team, and that's the squad that's up there right there on the screen. So myself. Oh yeah. Also, I want to again give Richie a shout out. Richie wanted to come up and kind of voice his little stuff about baseball that he has to talk about with the boys and stuff like that, but he had to stay down there and work. So just giving a good shout out to Rich and then Max and all the rest of the coaches down there. You guys are doing a heck of a job, and it's so fun following your guys' season going along, and we're going to continue on highlighting your team. So, thanks, guys. So, moving on into the next topics, I believe we're going to be talking about the NBA playoffs. So, we've been talking about the playoffs for the last 2 months. Man, so many different stories, so many different players that are just doing incredible things. But after this, this 2 months, it basically comes down to two main players, and they're the two players that got their teams all the way through those first 3 rounds of the NBA playoffs, which is hard because you have to win 4 out of 7 games for each series, and then playing 48 minutes with the clock stopping at every whistle, also having to rush a shot within 24 seconds, get the ball past half court within 8 seconds. Like, you're constantly running. These athletes here, their bodies are just, they're going in overdrive, and people are getting exhausted, and now only the strong survive, they say.
That's right.
And so now the Miami Heat,
LA Lake. Oh, never. My fault, Manny.
Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets are the two teams right now that are in the finals, and they both won a game. The first 2 games were in Denver, and then they went 1-1 down there. So I believe the next 3 games go down to Miami to South Beach.
Next 2.
Are you sure?
I think it goes 2-2, 1-1-1.
Because I thought in the finals it goes 2-3-2 because of the distance.
That was back in the 80s, bruh.
So, but regardless, the Denver Nuggets will have the final game on Game 7 if it lasts that long.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's gonna go 7.
You think it's gonna go 7?
I thought it was gonna be like 4-2 or 4-1, but I thought Denver was gonna win those next 2, and it was gonna follow in the same thing like the Celtics did. Is that whose phone? Is that my phone?
So,
I can hear it.
myself, I think that it might go about 6 games. To be honest, I don't know if I'm just being salty,
You are.
but I didn't watch those first 2 games, man.
Yeah, you are.
I was actually
You're
that
looking
second
for
game was
Tatum.
the second game. Game 2 was actually the night that
We're at the baseball.
we're at the
game,
baseball
yeah.
field there, and Hunter's the one that told us the final score. And we're like, oh, it's 1-1, but nobody watched the game.
Yeah, you salty. You was
I know.
over to
Hey,
see
if the
Jason
Cel-
Tatum running around
if
out
the
there.
Celtics were out there, I'd have been probably at home
Yeah.
talking
Hey,
about, hey, what's the score of the game?
I'll tell you how salty Quince was that day. When the Celtics got beat, then we all showed up for our game on Tuesday. Our family team. We all had green jerseys on except for Quince. He had a white one on. He was all mad. Yeah, he was all mad. Then he was eating candy here, the green candy. He wasn't even picking that candy out of there. That's how salty he was. He's a fool.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
No, but anyway, so I don't know if you guys have been watching, these playoffs and stuff like that. I know I've been watching a lot of games. I've watched Miami play a number of games throughout their series, for their first 3 series. I watched a number of the Nuggets games too, and it's really hard right now to try to see like who's the favorite out of it, because like you look at like Jimmy Buckets is just hooping, and the games that he's not hooping, then you got that Martin kid and another kid just lighting up the floor, and I think they got Tyler Hero back for the finals, and so like. The Heat are kind of stacked. I mean, how they're playing right now, it might not be a stacked roster like their names, like big names and stuff like that, but they got a lot of role players that are just hooping.
The other kid's name is that plays their big guys in Bam or something, or what's his
Bam Adebayo.
Adebayo.
He can
Big
hoop.
guy.
Yeah, he can hoop. He's pretty good.
See, a lot of people said Jimmy had something to prove because he had to get over the hump, but Bam also had to too, because I remember when they were in the bubble and they played in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Boston Celtics were this close, just a dunk away from winning the whole series, but Bam blocked Jason Tatum and saved the game for him.
Yeah.
And so that was huge for his career. So he has to get back there. That's what they're doing.
So
now.
if Boston won that bubble championship, would that count it for you? Since it
If
don't
Boston went,
so because you don't let it go for LeBron. 'Cause
no. If I'm saying
LeBron only
that,
got
if I'm
3.
saying that about the Lakers, if that's their Mickey Mouse trophy, then
Yeah.
I'd have to say that about the Celtics too.
Sorry,
but-
Manny. Sorry, buddy.
I know.
Sorry, not sorry, Manny.
Hey, Manny said he's gonna start deleting people that tag him and all this stuff. But yeah, so like, how about we talked a little bit about Jimmy, but how about the Joker, dude?
He's tough.
Like the
tough.
dad bod god. Did you know that's his nickname? The dad bod god.
Man, he's got a couple then.
And he is just a pure hooper, like an all around ball player. He's like one of the, if not the best big man passer that I've seen. I mean that's why he gets those triple doubles, because of course he's gonna get over 10 rebounds. Of course he's gonna get over 10 points.
Yeah.
But he's got like you were talking about OC. His IQ is just like off the charts, And so being that tall and being with all the skills that he has, I mean it's hard to stop.
So a while back ago when they had the All-Star Weekend, didn't he win that skills challenge, or he got second or something behind another big dude that he beat he beat the guards? Remember how they do that skills challenge? They got to dribble and throw the passes and stuff. Didn't he win that a couple 3 years ago when he was young?
The Joker, I think so. Yeah.
I don't know.
And then the crazy thing about it is he's a 2-time, should be a 3-time MVP.
Yeah.
And I know Coach Huge talked about that too a lot of times on here, as the season was going. But then if you remember back to All-Star Weekend, when LeBron and I think Giannis did the draft, dude, the Joker was the last one picked. Actually, he was the second to the last one picked, but the only reason why he wasn't last is because he stood up and started running over to LeBron when the second to last pick was out. So they didn't pick up the Joker until the end.
Those fools.
Yeah, and I can't believe that because of how good he is and the stats that he does, not just along with that.
Well,
with
you
the
know,
W's.
how I feel about the basketball nowadays, especially with the All-Star game. No defense. It's just
No
all for
defense at
show.
all.
It's just all. Anybody can score 60 points in that game when there ain't nobody playing defense. So
Yeah.
I just can't stand
So I guess I got a question for you two. Kind of being older, kind of being able to watch these sort of games over this period of time. Is there anybody that the Joker reminds you of? Because just looking back from the early 2000s to where I am now, he doesn't remind me of anybody, honestly.
We talked a little. We kind of brushed a little bit about this before.
Yeah. With me, I think it's a little mixture of Larry Bird and Dirk.
Yeah.
I kind of
But
like
that
that.
height, though,
Yeah.
it's
'Cause
just crazy.
Well, Larry Bird's 6'9".
Yeah.
I mean,
And
that's,
how tall is Dirk? Dirk's 7 foot, right?
yeah. If you're 6'9", 7 foot, you're talking this much. You're still a big dude. But
Well,
yeah,
you got-
those are my two. That
I
think
would
for sure.
say the same too, bro. A little more Dirk than Larry, and that's just. Or wait,
You really get it right.
no, a little more Larry than Dirk, because Dirk wasn't all one dimensional, just a scorer, but you never talked about him playing defense.
Yeah.
No.
And you
for
never
sure.
talked about him making these no look over the head passes and stuff
See him
like
doing
that.
that real uncoordinated fadeaway though, then knocking it down. That's
Yeah.
kind of what he got too.
So he's like a tall Larry Bird, is that I think, and that's why I said before too, Larry Legend.
Well, he ain't gonna be able to shoot threes like Larry Legend.
But
though.
they talk about Dirk and Larry like, they don't dunk much. They're not flashy. They're not this. They're not that. They don't talk smack too much, or that you see on TV anyway.
Say Larry Bird was the biggest one.
Oh, he wouldn't talk smack. He was telling you what he was gonna do.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah. So we got a few minutes left on
that's
the
a good call.
on the episode right now, and we're just showing some of the highlights right there on the screen from the Denver Nuggets. And I think Game 3 is tonight. I think I'm gonna before I shut my Hulu off for the summer, I'm gonna go ahead and watch this.
He laid on his bill. Keep it real.
I know. No. I usually turn Hulu Live off after the NBA season's over, and then I start back up again when it starts. So
Yeah.
That's a good call.
yeah, because that's saving me at least about $68 a month.
Yeah, I don't say $69 a month. Well,
So
you go on
anyway,
vacation
so-
every other week, so it don't matter.
So we actually all have a medal. We have a Athlete of the Week award to give out, and I know that we all kind of had a little chance to kind of think about our Athlete of the Week, and I believe we had a little discussion. And today we are highlighting the Winnebago Ponies boys our baseball team, and myself. I believe I'm going to choose somebody off that team, but I'm going to go ahead and start from over here.
Yeah, let me go first because these guys, I don't know if you guys might pick the same guy, because like I said, I haven't really been watching, but I just want to go little Marufo, grandson Marufo.
Oh, yeah.
He's just gonna be a stud in everything. I mean, not just baseball. You can see him play basketball. You can see him doing. He does it. He does it all. I always watch him when he's a little bitty guy and he's playing. You can always tell there's something there. There's something that he's gonna, if he stays on the right path. And then you got the boys here, the coaches here that are gonna keep him going. And he just could be a stud and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and without kind of blindly choosing. Just because he's on that team, and I know he's a good athlete all the way around. I'm gonna have to start getting out to some of the boys' games so I can be able to pick these more consistently.
Yeah.
But I still want to. I'm gonna roll with him. So grandson Marufo there.
Yeah.
Oh, Arian.
And he's another one of those kids that hates losing at just as much as he loves winning. And from the first moment I met him a couple years ago, he was just a different kid. And you see it in his basketball games. Like when he smells blood in the water, man, he's gonna take it.
Yeah.
Just a competitor all around. He's one of those kids that really picked up baseball really quick. Good athlete in his mom and his dad for sure.
Yeah. One thing that I'm gonna mention too, just because you brought his name up. So yesterday, I was stopped down to Wellington to grab my little girl from Fun the Sun, and Arian, Marufo, and Duta they rode their bikes in town. They went to summer workouts, conditioning up at the school, and then they just got done, and then they rode their bikes down to Wellington, and they were asking the staff down there, hey, can you put the hoops down for us? So they went from riding their bikes a couple miles to conditioning to the gym to work out, and then they had baseball practice later on that evening. So all that, grandson, Arian Marufo, you are Buffalo's athlete of the week. So make sure he's gonna come find you and get a picture with him. That'd be good. Good
Cool.
choice. Good choice.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Who's next?
Coach. Which one do you guys want to go next?
Okay, I'll go next. I'll go. My little brother Kendrick Mallory. Good man. He's. I'll just say this: he's put in a lot of work just within the past few months since March started. My Dega Kia, he's kind of taking after him after my Auntie Sierra passed away. So he's been doing a real good job with him, taking care of him. And he's one of those kids that he's going to be at practice every day. I don't have to worry about finding him for the game because he's either going to walk down to practice, Choka Luther, Whitewater is going to take him to practice, or Kia is going to get him to practice.
Yeah.
And he's come a long ways, just being in his dexterity, man. Because he's a bigger kid, and those lineman types, they don't have the best hands. But he's really taken it upon himself to work on those sort of skills like catching and throwing and his batting and things like that. So just a little note on this past Sunday, it just seems like every time our top of the lineup works. I don't know who makes that lineup, but it does its job, and he always has runners on, and every time he's got runners on, man, he knocks him in. He probably leads the team in RBIs right now.
Yeah, I think
Wow.
So this past Sunday he had 6 RBIs, 6 big RBIs.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's my athlete of the week right now, Mr. Kendrick Mallory.
That's a good choice. And just to piggyback off that a little bit, basketball season is the same way. He's one of the big dudes down low. He has great hands down low. Just to piggyback off what you're saying, and he works just as hard. He actually, what I noticed, I believe the coaches gave him the most improved player of the year this past basketball season. So good choice on Kendrick there. Congratulations, Kendrick.
Big
Good
fella.
job.
Come see Coach Sean. Coach Sean has an award for you. Make sure and get that picture. All right, Coach Hunter.
I'm gonna have to go with Brady Brownrigg.
Man, you took mine.
I picked him because he's someone I can count on through warm-ups, through everything, really, infield, the whole game. I can count on him to lead the team by example. He always runs when I ask him to run. When we play catch, he hardly has any drops. And the other game versus Takema, he came up to me. He's like, Hunter, show me how to throw a curveball. He never thrown a curveball.
Yeah, I was there. I saw it.
And first day throwing a curveball, and
Dude, it was so money. It was.
I can't explain how good it was just on the first day. I think he got like 2 or 3 strikeouts with it, just
Nice.
Just messing around really with it.
Yeah.
Which kid is he? Which one on the pic? Is he in the picture?
I think this is our younger guy.
Oh.
But
What the heck is that?
Tim Nuts. But yeah, for sure. Tanner Brownrigg's son, Brady, he does a great job. He does,
Okay.
does a really good job for us. Very receptive to coaching. Willing to be coached. You know.
He's the younger
Wants to
one
know
of
more.
tenors?
Yeah.
The younger one
Yeah.
of tenors.
Yeah,
Is it?
and then I just want to mention too that I said you took mine because I was actually going to nominate Brady for this one, and here's the reason why: is the other team when we played Takema, they went through 4 or 5 pitchers. Brady pitched the whole game, and I remember you talked earlier about your brother helping you out on decisions and stuff like that. About if I should keep a pitcher in, get a new pitcher. I remember you asking, should we get somebody in there for him? Because he kind of went and walked a couple people, and then your brother's like, no, let him go,
Yeah,
let
just
him go.
ride it out. Yeah, that was a good call.
And so he let him go, and because he seemed frustrated after a couple of bad pitches, he sucked it up and he turned everything around and then finished the game off strong and had those boys
Did you
had him
guys,
swinging. I think that there were 2 innings where we had 3 strikeouts in a row.
did you guys
There's been a
visit
couple games where he's worked his way out of like a sticky situation that he got himself into.
when he does that, do you guys go visit the mound real quick in town, talk to him, or you just let him go through it by himself?
He's one that we don't really have to go up there and say too much because he understands. He understands situations very well, very grown up, very very mature in how he handles himself.
Another one with a decent IQ then too, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he's also a darn good basketball player
Ryan?
too. Yep.
Okay.
So see his hair?
Yeah. Look at that.
His name is Brady. That's why he wears those
Oh,
braids.
that's why they call him that?
Yeah. Oh, you guys thought it was because his name was Braden?
Hey, I tell you a story. When his older brother's who? What's his name?
Caden.
Okay, so when he was like in 3rd grade, I went to one of the games down there, one of the basketball games. He come down and he's dribbling down there. I think they're playing those low hoops still, or maybe they're just on the big hoops. He come down like that. There's one kid coming up and he's going right at him like this, and he like to spin backwards, but instead of spin around and do a 360, he spun, but he put that ball backwards like this between that kid's legs, and then he did the 360 and he come up behind him and got that ball, went in for a layup. I almost walked out the gym. I said, you kidding me? This kid like 7 years old doing that?
Yeah.
I said, remember Tin Man used to be like that too.
Chip off the old block.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's
man.
good stuff. Yeah, I mean, just little things like that. If you've seen something one of these kids do, then you're just gonna remember it. And I always remember that. But it was the older one. It wasn't this kid. It was the older
Yeah.
one.
This one right here, Brady. Last season we were in a tournament up in South Sioux, got in the championship game, down by 2 points, and we ran a play, and I said, get it down low, down there. Either we're gonna score, or we're gonna get a foul, and we can tie the game up. But then the way that they ran the play, the ball ended up, and everybody shifted, and the ball ended up in Brady's hands over in the corner, and the 3, and he pulled. Ran that offense perfect. Instead of getting it down low, he pulled because he was open. Buzzer went off and he nailed that 3. We won the game, won the tournament. So,
Nice.
So yeah, he is a multi-sport athlete. So good choice on Brady.
Nice.
Good choice on Brady. So then now I got to change mine, and I'm gonna have to do this one quick though.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go off of something what Sean just now said. Sean gave his award to Kendrick, but you mentioned about Kendrick's his Dega Kia. Well, I know that Kia took over responsibilities for that young man at a real young age, and he's been doing a real good job. Kia talks about taking Kendrick to movies and restaurants, and tries to cry around about bros and stuff like that, but he always has Kendrick with him.
Well, he's got someone that eat just plain hamburger and cheese nachos and stuff. From what I heard, tacos just like that. So they probably had the same.
They probably just eat chicken
Same
nuggets.
taste buds. Yeah, they're El Ranchito today.
El Ranchito, then they have
Yep.
chicken nuggets and fries.
Yeah, that's what Trav always says too.
No,
Trav Mallory.
but just being that kind of a Dega, just being that kind of an influence and a male role model for that young man, Kendrick, I'm gonna go ahead and give my athlete of the week to his Dega Kia Mallory for all the things that he does, and I know that I don't even know if Kia's on a coaching staff, but he's at every game. You know,
Yeah, he's on our coaching staff,
Yeah.
but he's got that tough gaming commission schedule, so
Oh, yeah.
he makes it when he can.
Oh yeah, he makes it whenever they let him. All right, but Kia, I got this medal for you, man. Congratulations, you're my athlete of the week.
Proud of you, Kia.
Yep. And so, hey, you guys, I just want to say thank you to you coaches for, coming up here, spending some time up here on the Big Voice Sports Talk Show. Here to chat with me and my brother Buff. Seems like it's a real good flow going here. You got two brothers and talking about sports like the stuff that we love. Myself, I want to say, you guys want to say anything before we log off?
No. Well, tomorrow we play Tri-County, Emerson, E-Town over at the Land Wellness at 7 o'clock tomorrow in Winnebago. So if you're not doing too much, come check it out. Check the boys out.
Yeah, come on, check out these boys. It's the 1400 boys that we highlighted today. They're going to be in action tomorrow night here in Winnebago. So, bring the lawn chairs out. Go ahead, Buff.
I like to say something, just another, thank you, boys, for doing what you're doing in our community and with our kids. You guys are doing a real good job. Keep up the good work, and happy that you guys are here doing it, on all levels, not just baseball, basketball, but just being the type of young men that you guys are. Role models, like you talked about earlier, role models for some of these boys that don't have that father figure in their lives with them. But I appreciate you guys doing all you guys' hard work. So you guys keep it up.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that comes to a conclusion of our episode 26 of the Big Voice Sports Talk Show. I am your host, Coach Q, along here with the co-host, my brother Buff over here. DJ Besame was over here on the controls on the ones and twos. Say thank you to you for the time and all the stuff that you're doing over there with your clicking and the mouse movements and pulling the screens up so the viewers can see what we're talking about.
Right.
And then also I just want to say thank you to all you listeners out there on 100.9 FM, the Big Voice Radio. Thank you very much.
Yeah, fellas.
Good one.